Hello everyone, and welcome to my The Bold Fans channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Steffi believes Sheila is a kidnapper when Taylor disappears. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful suggest that Taylor Hayes might disappear. Will Steffi Forrester Finnegan believe Sheila Sharp, the kidnapper, is to blame? Taylor's relationship with Deacon Sharp, and the possibility that it might get out of control are already causing Steffi anxiety. Fans of B&B can understand why Steffi is so concerned, because Sheila has a history of hazardous, insane conduct. Steffi will never completely lower her guard, despite Sheila's recent attempts to make amends. That's fortunate since Sheila is likely about to take revenge on Taylor. Taylor and Deacon are going to leave the friend zone despite their best efforts to resist temptation. Deacon and Taylor are going to enter troubled area because all indications lead to them sharing a passionate kiss later in the week of January 19th to 23rd. Taylor and Deacon might be unable to stop once they get a taste of one another. More passionate kisses and possibly some time spent in bed could result from this. In any event, Sheila will eventually learn that Deacon and Taylor have crossed the line. After that, Sheila might become a far worse version of herself and act horribly, just as Steffi has been terrified. What would happen if Taylor disappeared at some point? Sheila may abduct her competitor in an attempt to win Deacon over and take her hostage. Maybe Sheila will choose not to remove Taylor from the map and maintain the illusion that she has changed. Sheila will still want Taylor out of the picture, even if she may convince herself that she has gone too far to truly take her life. For this reason, Sheila may try to divert Taylor's loved ones and hold her captive. Sheila could pretend that Taylor needed to get away from town for a bit, or perhaps go save the world once more by sending SMS from her phone. Naturally, Steffi might think there's more to the tale and blame Sheila of causing Taylor to go. It might cause Steffi to go forth a lot of effort to unravel the riddle, and eventually pull off a Taylor rescue. Don't miss the disturbing news ahead, as spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful indicate that Sheila will lose control after learning of Taylor and Deacon's betrayal. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Does Finn have a new love interest? According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, fans will soon witness Dr. John Finnegan take a daring new step in his life. This is due to the fact that all present indications point to a potential new romantic interest for the attractive doctor, who may also be quite young. Is Finn seeing someone new? It's unclear, though, if that will occur before or after his wife Steffi Forrester ends their marriage. This is because, according to the most recent spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Steffi will be enraged to learn that Sheila Carter wishes to touch her mother Taylor Hayes because to the passionate relationship she has been having with Deacon Sharp. Furthermore, Steffi claims that her husband is guilty by association, even though Finn has nothing to do with this. She intends to punish him for failing to take adequate action to prevent Sheila from harming her mother. Nevertheless, even if Finn genuinely loves Steffi and wants to keep his marriage intact, there's a good probability that a new lady in his life may divert his attention. Additionally, this new woman will emerge from an unexpected area. What will Finn do next? No, Hope Logan is not the subject of this discussion. Every time Steffi isn't looking, there's a strong probability Dylan will attempt to get quite intimate with the attractive doctor. When Steffi learns about this, she will undoubtedly become even more enraged, especially since she hired Dylan at Forrester to keep her off the streets. But since things are going to get really dramatic and juicy, Dylan has her own agenda. Fans of The Bold and the Beautiful will undoubtedly need to watch the show every day to learn what will happen next in this plot. The CBS network broadcasts B&B during the week. Look up the timings in your local listings. B&B spoilers. Dad Ridge's heart is broken by RJ Forrester. After spending months in Italy, Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan are overjoyed to welcome their son RJ Forrester back in Los Angeles. However, Bridge's dream of a happily ever after with their son is not going to come true. For his new life in La La Land, RJ has his own ideas. Here are spoilers for Bold and Beautiful's next events. RJ Forrester has returned, although with a different appearance. When their son unexpectedly returned home, Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan were overjoyed. The prodigal son comes back. It was discovered that RJ was living the bachelor life in Italy, which is why he had been missing for months. After discovering that his lover Luna Nozawa was a serial killer, Bridge's kid appears to have embarked on a brief eat, pray, love adventure. Ridge and Brooke are excited for their son to return to the workforce and pursue his father's career in design. Spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful suggest that the RJ who left town last year has undergone significant change. Social media chatter is that RJ was in Italy with his real father, Nick Marone. Does RJ want to be a Forrester or a Marone last year? Nick went back to Bold and the Beautiful and made an attempt to woo Brooke Logan in Italy. His ambitious plans failed, and following a near-death encounter, Brooke and Ridge reconnected in Italy before heading back home together. Despite the fact that we know Nick Marone is still employed as a textile tycoon in Italy and has connections to Forrester Creations, he was never brought up again. While he was missing, could it be that RJ was communicating with his Marone side? Ridge will die on the inside if RJ Forrester begins behaving more like a Marone than a Forrester. It's no secret that Nick Marone is RJ's biological father, despite the fact that he reared him as his own. Did RJ eventually get back in touch with his biological father after all these years? The authors are re-examining RJ's family tree because there are rumors that the Marones may return to the soap opera in 2026. B&B spoilers. Why will Spencer continues to work for Forrester Creations? According to teasers for next week's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, the conflict between Forrester Creations and Katie's new business, Logan, will further intensify. Viewers find it puzzling that Will Spencer Jr. is still employed at Forrester Creations given all of the conflict between the Spencer and Forrester families. When Will Spencer Jr. got home from school, he was quite hostile to his father and refused to work for the family company. Will obtained an internship with Forrester Creations instead of accepting his job at Spencer Publications. Bill and Rich fight over Will. Rich Forrester got to boast that his opponent's kid was employed by him rather than his father, which infuriated Bill. Bill's grievance with his son's employment was neglected due to the Luna drama and the near loss of Liam. Since then, Bill and Will's relationship has mended, Beatty remarried, and he recently handed the beach house to his son. We understand that Electra Forrester enjoys driving to work with her partner, but this is unquestionably a conflict of interest that needs to be resolved right away. Has Will Spencer been informed that his job and parents are at odds? Will Spencer Jr. is eager to defend Katie Spencer, because he has always been a mama's boy. According to B&B teasers, Will Spencer may leave on his own after discovering how Ridge and Brooke have been abusing his mother. Why would he want to work for someone who harasses his mother? Will Spencer will have to make a decision. Ridge Forrester will probably make an effort to persuade Will Spencer to stay. Another individual he trained going to work for the competitor is the last thing he wants. In addition, he enjoys making fun of Bill for having Will work for him. However, Katie is turning into a very merciless businesswoman. In order for her son to spy on her rivals, she might advise him to remain at FC. Do you find it odd that Will Spencer is still employed by Forrester Creations? Will he leave to work for his parents' new business? Or is he going to be a weapon in the fashion wars? B&B twist. Will Katie and Eric get into a fight because of Eric's ego? Logan may face consequences if Eric's ego is preoccupied with outperforming the competition. Eric from The Bold and the Beautiful consented to be Katie's first collection's principal designer. He made a joke about how Spencer Publications would need to go above and beyond, including providing VIP parking. Will their working relationship be impacted by his ego, though? Key takeaways. Eric's intention to take on the role of main designer for Katie is more motivated by his competition with Ridge than by a genuine desire to support Katie. He might undermine the business he assisted Katie in starting because his ego is associated with the Forrester name. Bill questioned Katie about her ability to trust Eric to leave the business he helped establish. If Eric returns his allegiance to his own family, he will be in a position to betray Katie. Eric Forrester's master plan. Eric is the father of the Forrester family and a renowned fashion designer. The only reason he is joining Katie's fashion company is because Ridge, his son, made him resign. In order to demonstrate that he remains the master of his profession, Eric joined this partnership. However, his ego can prevent him from working with Katie. Instead of treating Katie as CEO, he should treat her as a junior partner. Eric may refuse to follow business-related instructions, but Katie needed his advice. By requesting that Katie keep their relationship a secret, he is already in charge. Their working relationship could end abruptly. Personal vendetta over professional achievement. Eric's main goal is to exact revenge on Ridge and Brooke. He wants to demonstrate that they were unaware of his abilities. This demonstrates that Eric made a conscious choice to collaborate with Katie. When a partnership is based on ego, innovative decisions may put shock value or outperforming the competition ahead of the new business's long-term success. Instead of becoming a long-lasting brand, Logan can become remembered as a fad. The company may become collateral damage in the fashion battles if Eric prioritizes the Forresters above Katie's vision. If he decides to support the Forresters, he might even go out and betray Katie. Overshadowing Katie Logan's success, Katie wants to succeed independently, out from the Forresters' shadow. She had had enough of being in her sister's shadow. But in the end, Eric might eclipse her. Additionally, there's a chance that Logan may be viewed by the fashion industry as Eric Forrester's second act. In the industry, Logan has already caused misunderstanding. Forrester Creations has previously registered the name as a trademark. However, Katie is able to use the trademark for her fashion firm because it expired more than a year ago. It may still be mistaken by some for Logan Designs, a popular line sold under the Forrester brand. Even though Katie is an astute PR manager, she can find herself in a PR problem. She may find it difficult to establish herself as a new fashion entrepreneur if Eric's ego demands that he become the company's face. Her new endeavor may therefore fail. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Will Sheila Carter be able to divorce Deacon Ziel Giordino? According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Deacon Sharp is proceeding with his divorce from Sheila Carter, but he may be concerned about the wrong things. Who will defend his possessions as the Forresters band together to defend his mistress, Taylor Hayes? Here are some new spoilers for Bold and Beautiful's upcoming episodes. Deacon Sharp's marriage to Sheila Carter on the CBS serial opera was impulsive, and he is delirious about getting a divorce. Bold and the Beautiful never showed any discussion of a prenuptial agreement or other legal matters between the couple. However, the usual divorce procedure is to take your spouse to the cleaners if you have evidence of their infidelity. Viewers of The Bold and the Beautiful are aware that Deacon's restaurant is his only valuable possession. Isn't Sheila Carter entitled to at least half of Ziel Giordino if they are lawfully married and she worked there for free the whole time? Sheila may be able to take the entire business if she employs a skilled attorney or makes some demands. Sheila does the unexpected. Taylor and Deacon are determined to end their new romance despite Steffi Forrester's best efforts. According to B&B spoilers, the doctor's relationship with her patient will intensify next week. Will Deacon's wife expose them? Deacon Sharp ought to get a competent divorce lawyer, while everyone else is rushing to hire a security guard for Taylor. This will be the real test, according to Sheila, who claims to have improved herself and altered her habits. Will the villain go on a murderous rampage? Or is she going to take the high route, sue Deacon and seize everything from him? On The Bold and the Beautiful, something is changing, and it goes beyond romance, rivalries, or retaliation schemes. It's baby fever. And it seldom ends with a single couple in Los Angeles once that flame ignites. Spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful suggest that the program may be subtly setting the stage for a fresh wave of baby drama, emotional turning points, and life-changing choices, with Hope Logan Spencer and Liam Spencer possibly at its epicenter. What begins with one couple's happy plans for the future could spread to another famous pair, and make them face a question they might not be ready to answer. Is it time to have another child? Baby fever has a history of spreading on B&B. Longtime viewers are all too familiar with this trend. Baby storylines are rarely isolated on The Bold and the Beautiful. When a couple begins discussing having children, becoming pregnant, or growing their family, it frequently sets off a chain reaction that spreads throughout the canvas. Discussions start. Recollections come back. Wounds from the past reopen. Couples who believed their family was complete suddenly begin to wonder if something is lacking. The significance of Daphne Rose and Carter Walton's baby preparation stems from this. Though they might not be aware of it yet, their enthusiasm might be infectious. Carter Walton has been waiting a long time for this opportunity, and Daphne and Carter are the spark that ignites the fuse. With Daphne Rose, he has at last found stability, clarity, and love after years of heartache, failed engagements, and emotional misfires. Their involvement wasn't planned. It wasn't tactical. It was sincere, impetuous, and emotional. As they get closer to being married in 2026, their discussions have inevitably shifted to the future, including having kids. Not in the future. Not speculatively. Soon though. Carter and Daphne don't hesitate to express their desire for a family. They have already had candid conversations about having children, creating something enduring, and moving past Forrester creations and their aspirations for Parisian fashion. They have no intention of waiting once they are married. They intend to get going right away. And as that information begins to spread, it might have a significant impact on those closest to them, particularly Hope Logan. Hope Logan's emotional past puts her at risk for baby fever. Hope Logan has a strong affection for kids. She has a strong maternal instinct, emotionally committed, safeguarding, and greatly influenced by her motherhood experiences. Beth Spencer is more than just Hope's daughter. She is a miraculous kid born out of sorrow, deceit, and loss. Hope battled for Beth in ways that altered her perspective on parenthood for all time. Then there is Douglas Forrester, who, although growing up in Paris with Thomas, Hope loves as her own. Hope has already felt the anguish of being apart, the pain of observing a child's development from a distance, the silent awareness that time passes more quickly than you anticipate. That's all important. Because Hope won't only hear happy plans when Carter and Daphne start talking candidly about babies. Echoes will be heard by her. Carter's happiness makes Hope reflect Carter Walton, used to play a big role in Hope's life. Lack of affection was not the reason their romance failed. Hope's heart was never fully free of Liam, which is why it failed. Carter has now found the one. Carter is now making progress. Carter is now creating the life that Hope had envisioned, but not with her. Hope will be pleased for him. Sincerely. However, contemplation frequently leads to bliss. And contemplation raises questions. Liam and Hope. A whole family, but is it complete? Hope and Liam appear to have everything. They got married again. They are steady. They converse. They have endured emotional weariness, triangles, and betrayals. They both have Beth. Kelly is co-parented by them. Even though they are far away, they adore Douglas. Fans of Hope and Liam have been waiting years to see this version of them. So why cause trouble? Because silence is rare on the bold and the beautiful. And often the seemingly harmless questions are the most deadly. For example, what if we had one more? Beth Spencer could be the catalyst. Kids on B&B have a tendency to advance plots, often inadvertently. When Beth Spencer's parents were reunited, her greatest wish was already granted. It wouldn't be shocking if she want more now that her family is safe. A sibling, a companion for play, someone to mature alongside, a younger brother, or a younger sister. Even a casual inquiry from Beth may halt Hope and Liam in their tracks. Since kids don't pose hypothetical questions, they inquire about expectations. And it's difficult to ignore once that seed is sown. Liam Spencer has space in his heart, but is his life prepared? 2 girls have already been born to Liam Spencer. Steffi and Kelly. Hope and Beth. He balances being a co-parent, timetables, obligations, emotional commitments. Nevertheless, Liam has consistently shown himself to be a heartfelt leader. He is deeply in love. He makes a strong commitment. Additionally, he frequently incorporates family into his future visions. Liam might maintain that everything is ideal just the way it is. Perfect, however, does not equate to finished. Additionally, he might find himself reevaluating what the next chapter entails as he observes Carter getting ready to become a father, something Liam has previously gone through. Hope's perspective is even more complicated compared to other characters. Hope Logan has a more emotional impact. She is aware of how easily joy can be taken away. She is aware of the vulnerability of families. She understands what it's like to lose a child, even for a brief period of time. She becomes wary as a result. However, it also makes her grateful. At first, Hope could be opposed to having another child. Not out of fear but out of practicality. The obligations of motherhood, the emotional toll, striking a balance between work and family, and the challenges of blended parenting are some of the things Hope will consider. However, she also believes in love, in expansion, in second opportunities. Additionally, the thought of embracing new life might occasionally feel like hope in and of itself. Douglas's absence could silently affect Hope. Living in Paris is a persistent pain that Hope doesn't always express. She adores him. She is in favor of his relationship with Thomas. However, space is left by distance. A place that seems empty. Nothing could take Douglas' place, not even another child. However, it might lessen the loneliness. The house might start laughing again. Moments that feel too quiet could be filled with it. Hope may not acknowledge the importance of that emotional truth. A talk that changes everything. Impulsive pregnancy is not the most likely situation. It's a dialogue. A minute of silence. A contemplative evening. A soft question. Hope and Liam discussing the advantages and disadvantages. Looking back upon their history. Recognizing their development. And acknowledging that they have changed. Even if they don't make a decision right away, that talk alone might change their course. The Bold and the Beautiful depends on generational arcs, which is why the show needs a new baby storyline. There will be new rivalries, new alliances, new emotional stakes, and future love triangles because Beth and Kelly won't be young forever. Douglas is already becoming less focused as he ages. The canvas is kept fresh by a new baby. And the most obvious choices are Hope and Liam. Steffi's reaction would be explosive. Steffi Forrester Finnegan would not be immune if Hope became pregnant once more. Despite their emotional separation, Steffi and Liam will always be connected by Kelly. The dynamics would change if Hope had a new baby. Balances of power. Hierarchy of emotions. Although it wouldn't start a war, it would increase tension. Tension is also a storytelling treasure. Last thought. Babies are never just babies. Baby fever is about the future on The Bold and the Beautiful, not about babies. Carter and Daphne's wish to have children may appear like a happy side story, yet they stand for redemption, legacy, hope, continuation. However, it might set off something far more significant, something more profound, something that makes Hope and Liam reflect on their life and think, are we done growing? Or is there still another chapter that needs to be written? Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful indicate that everything will change when baby fever strikes Los Angeles. Keep an eye out.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.